Anyone fascinated by the natural world has probably wondered why some animals have such strange-looking sense organs. The elephant with its huge ears, the antennae of a butterfly, which up close look like feathers, the snake with its split tongue. And what about less obvious enhancements, like the sensory cells on a crocodile's skin? Surely these evolutionary traits aren't just for decoration. In fact, the size, shape, and location of these animal sense organs is all for a purpose. And just like us, animals rely on their senses to communicate with each other, find their way around, stay safe, and most importantly, to find food. When you see how superior some animal senses are compared to those of humans, you might wonder how we ever managed to stay on top of the food chain. Animal super senses. You won't believe what's possible. Welcome to Animal Super Senses, the show that enables you to see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, and feel it like animals do. Animals use sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing, and other special senses to negotiate their way through a sometimes cruel and unforgiving world. On this episode, we travel from the desert to the forest, Australia to Borneo and back to learn how species as diverse as bat-eared foxes, the bilby, deer, kangaroo rats, cicadas, proboscis monkeys, and other creatures never miss an auditory trick. In these huge expanses of shrubland, grazed and fought over by some of the most recognizable wildlife on the planet, we find this particularly curious critter. The bat-eared fox makes its home in areas with short grass and low scrub, feeding on mostly insects and invertebrates. To get a hold of creatures that small, it helps to be able to hear them. So the large ears of the bat-eared fox aren't just for decoration. They're filled with blood vessels which help cool the animal down during the day. Just as well, because it gets hot out here on the savannah. But their ears are also an effective sound gatherer, funneling sound to the inner ear. What's more, these swiveling ears can turn 180 degrees to help locate their tiny prey, as well as the animals that prey on them. Bat-eared foxes have to be especially alert to the sounds of the slender mongoose, brown hyena, and black-backed jackals, all of which can kill and eat bat-eared foxes at regular intervals. Good hearing in general is a huge advantage for animals who would rather avoid being eaten. The desert offers lean pickings for omnivores, with sparse vegetation, meaning fewer places to hide. The bilby seems to spend most of its time avoiding being eaten. A marsupial, in fact the largest known member of the bandicoot family, the bilby is truly a nocturnal animal. They usually don't come out of the ground until long after dusk and head back an hour or two before sunrise. If it's a full moon, or there's heavy wind or rain, bilbies will stay cooped up in their burrows all night. When they do get out amongst it, they rely on their hearing to survive. Notice their large, mostly hairless ears, which allows sound to pass unheeded to the inner ear, and also helps to amplify sound. In fact, it's not unlike the effect of cupping your hands behind your ears. But of course, there's a lot more to animals' super sense of hearing than having outsized ears. Take banner-tailed rats, for example. Their hearing is so keen that they can hear wind ruffling the feathers of an owl flying through the forest at night. Yet unlike the bat-eared foxes we saw earlier, the ears of the banner-tailed rat aren't particularly large in proportion to the rest of their body. It's the large feet and hind legs that stand out on this animal. No, with the banner-tailed rat, all the precise audio engineering work goes on inside the creature's ears. Banner-tailed rats have a huge eardrum beating away inside that medium-sized ear, and a larger than usual middle ear chamber to boot. Large bony structures surrounding the banner-tailed rat's inner ear enhance their extremely sensitive hearing. Size is no guarantee when it comes to animal sensory strength. Some of the smallest animals have the largest powers of hearing and auditory communication. Though their habitat is different, deer are another animal who rely on their sense of hearing to stay out of the way of trouble. You'll note that they too have large pinnae ears which move independently. This directional hearing means they can zone in on where a sound is coming, and it is believed from how far away, meaning how fast they had better run to get away from it. This, in large measure, is why it is so hard to sneak up on a deer in the woods. And as all those deer hunters out there could possibly attest, deers instinctively distinguish between the sounds it hears every day in the forest and unfamiliar noises, such as the opening of a car door or human footsteps. In some respects, hearing is the most important of deer senses. For though their sense of smell is acute, an ill wind can always blow outdoors in an unhelpful direction, whereas they can rely better on their ears to guide them. Deers also hear things at a higher frequency than humans, though we can pick up on things lower in the spectrum than they can. Rodents, such as the lowly rat and humble mouse, come with the gift of ultrasonic hearing as standard equipment. That means they can hear in a frequency above the human ear's audibility limit. The hearing range most often means the range of sound waves and vibrations which can be heard by humans and other animals. The easiest way might be to imagine a piano keyboard. Humans typically hear notes in the middle of the keyboard. Others very high or very low are inaudible to us. At the lower end of the scale, rats and mice and other rodents don't just make the squeaky noises we humans are able to pick up on. Oh no, they are able to communicate in a whole rich world of sound and auditory cues, but outside of our range of hearing. Imagine what it might be like if we could hear it. Larger animals that are able to hear things in the infrasonic range tend to have large heads, as in larger than humans.